put your own business card on the ladder. All right, guys, so we're doing a concrete roof. This is implementation, and this roof, it is messed up. Está feito el techo este, ¿eh?
Para modernity.
Ay, ay, ay. Vamos. ¿Cómo estamos, papo? Estamos, Javier. So we randomly got a worker that was gonna come work in this house inside with a trailer. So he found out that we were actually working on the roof, so he can't do his own work. So we might be able to use this trailer to get the rest of the debris out of here. All right, so today we're working on this roof implantation. I'm gonna give you guys a little insight on some of the projects that we're working on in South Florida. This is a very special project because it's a very nice private HOA community. This was one of the investment properties for one of our clients, and I'm going to teach you sort of what some of the business people, some of the property investors are doing here in South Florida, finding some of these gold mine homes and transforming them from top to bottom. Right now we're working on the roof primarily because of the damage that you guys are seeing up on the roof. And before they can get started on any of the drywall repairs, before they can get started on any work inside the house, the roof needs to be completed. We're only we're about to hit May, and as soon as May, June, July come, it's nothing but rain. So this roof needs to get done ASAP. That way they can get into business, fix the inside. So let me see if one of these sliders are open so you guys can take a look at some of the terrible roofs we deal with. This is locked. Let me go around. Hopefully it's open. If it's not open, I may have to use the key entry. Sometimes they leave one open. Let's see. We went and covered the pool. As you can see, the backyard is a nice little lake. Enough for you to do a nice little dock, maybe with a jet ski or a nice little 10-foot boat. Well, this was locked too. It's fine. Gotta protect the home. Seems like everything is locked. We're gonna have to use the code, so it's completely clean. Now, in a home like this, you may see it as completely damaged from no return. But if you have the ability and the mindset to get the work done, and of course, the capital, cannot forget about the capital, you're able to bring this roof back to life. And some of the more important things when working on a property like this is work with the right contractors, work with the right remodelers, because one bad contractor can make this process go back 2-3 months, can cost you thousands of dollars, and can just make this entire project a living hell. But as you can see, these investors have been using our company for over 5 years, and we always try to provide the best quality return on their investment. Yeah, it's gonna be scary because the one dump truck I brought is already almost full. A lot of the foam is stuck to the underlayment, so it breeds a lot of volume when you start to put all these debris together. So let's see what we're gonna do. All right, so right now we're working on the sheeting. We're renailing all the plywood. We'll lose a lot of rotted wood. Their stuff is just to remove all that rotted wood, and there's a whole lot of it. Another thing that we're doing over here is reinforcing each of the trusses because a lot of it is rotted. Once we're working the trusses, I can't really cut them. All we can do is reinforce them. That's the integrity of the actual structure of the home. Structure, so we can't be cutting these trusses. We can even reinforce them. I think fail. ¿Ya tenemos una otra pintera, huevo? No. Oye, ¿cómo te sientes? Bien, mejor.
Con el récord tienes de mejor carpintuar.
This is what happens when you have a concrete roof that you do not maintain. A lot of this could have been avoided by chopping a lot of these trees off. A lot of it could have been avoided by just trimming the trees and maintaining the property in the exterior, top of the roof. What happens is a lot of the times you got spring season, fall season, a lot of these leaves end up falling on the roof. Concrete tile tends to keep everything in little corners and ridges and valleys. And over a long period of time, you got all that humidity building up. Starts destroying the valley. Once you destroy the valley of a concrete roof, forget about it. The water's going to pour into the house, whether you want to or not. And this is the problem. You get more filled up, the walls get destroyed. And when it comes to redoing the roof, it's a lot more expensive because we have to charge for all this plywood. I had allocated about 10 sheets of plywood for this roof. And it seems like we already went through the 10 sheets of plywood. So with all this other section here, that's approximately another 15 squares, about 1,500 feet. 1,500 square feet. I think we're going to have another 5 or 6 sheets all they have to fully replace that are counting for trusses. But right now the guys are nailing down every single area that was re-nailed. Sometimes the gun doesn't shoot the nail all the way through. Sometimes you got like these little nails that are exposed. They can go behind their hammer, nailing these nails down. So everything can be flat, everything can be as perfect as possible. As you can see, we are already starting to progress here for the underlayment. The first thing that we have to do is add a 4-inch self-adhered right underneath the drip edge. Once that's sealed correctly, then we can start installing the Polyglass TU Plus. The reason why it's done this is because we want that overlap to adhere properly directly to that underlayment. And not only that, the first 2 rows of tile, they have nails, they have screws. So usually after a long period of time, 15 to 20 years, as we reach the expiration of the underlayment, the things needs to go are the first 2 rows of tile and must be smoothly sold. As you can see, the trailers in this pool, we're all the way in Broward right now. We're pretty far. We're closer for Lauderdale. And we're used to dumping in West Palm Beach, about an hour north. So we're going to find a local place to try to dump this at. We're going to be paying a lot more. Usually we pay about $75 a ton in West Palm, but here in Broward, everything is different. We'll probably end up paying about $100, $110 for the ton. So we're going to try to find the most economical place that's safe, that we can dump this stuff. And we're still waiting on another dump truck that's going to be taking the concrete tile. We need to separate this stuff. If not, then we're just paying more. So they should be here at any point. That way we can dump everything and get out of here. One of the important things about this material is that we want it to be as adherent as possible. Okay, now we're gonna cut this flat section down. The flat section, the next step is to prime it until we can install one of the layers of self-adhered. The last layer is the cap, as you guys need. And that cap, just like the Ricky Funnel, we're gonna do a retorsioning. It's a method that we trust. I mean, it's much more the safest, in our opinion, was compared to hooking. Está feita la casa, ¿eh? Está feita. No te doy trabajo fácil, ¿eh? I'm gonna have to go get some materials in. But it's good to see the guys getting more done. Previous doing tracks, so we're just trying to continue to stuff field up while we wait for the dump truck to come in for the rest of the materials. What we're doing right now is sealing all the lead boots. The lead boot needs to be fully replaced. And then it's nailed down with 1.25 nails and concrete bolt. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up for right now. We have to go get some of the materials the guys need. And we'll be back in a little bit so we can continue this amazing project. This is set in the wound. Horrible condition. All right. So we have the trailer fully loaded. We're heading to a dump yard. This is located somewhere in Pembroke Pines. I'm not super familiar, but a lot of these places work pretty much the same. You go with a bunch of garbage and you dump it and you get the heck out of there. So we're roughly about 30 minutes away. It's the closest one. If we try to go to West Palm, we're nearly an hour away, and you know, sometimes just in diesel and time, it's worth paying a little bit more in a closer location than saving some money, but then spending 2 hours trying to get to where you want to go. So I'll get back to you as soon as we dump and we head back to the site. But right now, we got a pretty good 30-minute drive until we get over there. All right, so we just made it out of the landfill over in Broward. A little different, but it was actually pretty easy. They have a lot more space than we do back in West Palm in our landfill over there. So right now we're making it down this gigantic mountain of trash and crap. But everything went well, easy. Let's see how much they charge us. We had about 2.5 tons, almost 3 tons of debris. Typically in West Palm, we pay around $80 for a ton. So let's see how much they charge us over here. They asked us what city we lived in. We said Pembroke Pines. So let's see if we get the city discount or what. I'm always weary of going up these mountains with a trailer because it works differently when you got the big old trailer versus the small one. Big difference in weight displacement. This trailer in the back is just a lot heavier. But we're good. We got about 30 minutes to get back. But before we do, we got to get a little bit of material the guys need, and I need to get some lunch because I am starving. But so far, so good. See you guys in a little bit. Alright, so we got all the TU Plus installed. Right now we're finalizing some of the eaves because we had a lot of rotted fascia. So right now the guys are changing all the bad fascia. A lot of this roof had rot. A lot of the gutters just collected leaves over a long period of time and started rotting the fascia apart. So right now we're doing all that woodwork. But the guys are almost done. Right now they're cutting a coconut with a saw. Just getting that little bit of electrolyte. but final but not least is the granular cap torch down. Estaba fuerte el techo, man.
Sí, pero estaba... Pero no se quedó riendo de nosotros.
No, le dieron duro, man. No, y dieron los rollos más o menos, ¿eh? Los 5.
¿Trajiste extra, verdad?
Traje 2 más.
Oh, sí, no, ya subimos uno.
¿Oh, sí?
No, sí, ya subimos uno ya. Es que yo sabía que uno más iba de falta, pero 2 por
Sí, man.
si las moscas.
Brother, con las lapitas que quedan como levantadas del TU Plus, ¿tú crees que es mejor poner una chapeta?
Le vamos a poner una chapeta mejor.
A
Las
veces
que
lo
no pegan bien con el bulbo, ¿eh?
No, a mí lo que más son los inspectores mierda estos, man. Que la ven levantada y piensan que por abajo hay plywood así abierto.
Ajá, está bien. Yo le vamos a poner una en cada esquina.
Yo creo que con eso ya un poquito de bull arriba y ya.
Sí. Vamos a la lata. Ayúdame para la lata. Bueno, ¿por qué no ponemos este para allá? De una vez, va. Para allá, ya, para quemar la...
Alright, so right now we're waiting on concrete tile to come in. We should have concrete tile end of this week. So most likely we'll be installing tile towards end of the week, beginning of next week. That way we can call for inspection.